and despair, but there was no invitation in its sound, and he who had held out his arms stopped and surveying her with a certain deprecatory glance in his proud eye, said: "You are right. I have first my acknowledgments to make and your forgiveness to ask before I can hope." "No, no," she broke in, "your coming here is enough. I request no more. If you felt unkindly toward me—" "Unkindly!" A world of love thrilled in that word. "Luttra, I am your husband, and rejoice that I am so. It is to lay the devotion of my heart and life at your feet that I seek your presence this hour. The year has taught me—aye, what has not the year taught me of the worth of her I so recklessly threw from me on my wedding day? Luttra," he held out his hand, "will you crown all your other acts of devotion with a pardon that will restore me to my manhood and that place in your esteem which I covet above every other earthly good?" Her face, which had been raised to his with that earnest look we knew so well, softened with an ineffable smile, but still she did not lay her hand in his. "And you say this to me in the very hour of my father's and brother's arrest, with the remembrance in your mind of their bound and abject forms lying before you guarded by police, knowing too that they deserve their ignominy and the long imprisonment that awaits them? No, I say it on the day of the discovery and the restoration of that wife for whom I have long searched, and to whom when found I have no word to give but welcome, welcome, welcome." With the same deep smile she bowed her head. "Now, let come what will, I can never again be unhappy," were the words I caught, uttered in the lowest of undertones. But in another moment her head had regained its steady poise, and a great change had passed over her manner. "Mr. Blake," said she, "you are good. How good, I alone can know and duly appreciate who have lived in your house this last year and seen with eyes that missed nothing, just what your surroundings are and have been from the earliest years of your proud life. But goodness must not lead you into the committal of an act you must and will repent to your dying day, or if it does, I who have learned my duty in the school of adversity must show the courage of two and forbid what every secret instinct of my soul declares to be only provocative of shame and sorrow. You would take me to your heart as your wife. Do you realize what that means?" "I think I do," was his earnest reply. "Relief from heartache, Luttra." Her smooth brow wrinkled with a sudden spasm of pain, but her firm lips did not quiver. "It means," said she, drawing nearer but not with that approach which indicates yielding, "it means shame to the proudest family that lives in the land. It means silence as regards a past blotted by suggestions of crime, and apprehension concerning a future across which the shadow of prison walls must for so many years lie. It means the hushing of certain words upon beloved lips, the turning of cherished eyes from visions where fathers and daughters, aye, brothers and sisters are seen joined together in tender companionship or loving embrace. It means, God help me to speak out, a home without the sanctity of memories, a husband without the honours he has been accustomed to enjoy, a wife with a fear gnawing like a serpent into her breast, and children, yes, perhaps children from whose innocent lips the sacred word of grandfather can never fall without wakening a blush on the cheeks of their parents, which all their lovesome prattle will be helpless to chase away. Luttra, your father and your brother have given their consent to go their dark way alone and trouble you no more. The shadow you speak of may lie on your heart, dear wife, for these men are of your own blood, but it need never invade the hearthstone beside which I ask you to sit. The world will never know, whether you come with me or not, that Luttra Blake was Luttra Schoenmaker. Will you not then give me the happiness of striving to make such amends for the past, that you too will forget you ever bore any other name than the one you now honour so truly?" "Oh, do not," she began, but paused with a sudden control of her emotion that lifted her into an atmosphere almost holy in its significance. "Mr. Blake," said she, "I am a woman and therefore weak to the voice of love pleading in my ear, but in one thing I am strong, and that is in my sense of what is due to the man I have sworn to honour. 11 months ago I left you because your pleasure and my own dignity demanded it. Today I put by all the joy and exultation you offer, because your position as a gentleman and your happiness as a man equally requires it." "My happiness as a man!" he broke in. "Ah, Luttra, if you love me as I do you, I might perhaps yield," she allowed with a faint smile, "but I love you as a girl brought up amid surroundings from which her whole being recoiled, must love the one who first brought light into her darkness and opened up to her longing feet the way to a life of culture, purity, and honour. I were the basest of women could I consent to repay such a boundless favour." "But Luttra," he again broke in, "you married me knowing what your father and brother were capable of committing." "Yes, yes, I was blinded by passion, a girl's passion, Mr. Blake, born of glamour and gratitude, not the self-forgetting devotion of a woman who has tasted the bitterness of life and so learned its lessons of sacrifice. I may not have thought, certainly I did not realize, what I was doing. Besides, my father and brother were not convicted criminals at that time, however weak they had proved themselves under temptation. And then I believed I had left them behind me on the road of life, that we were sundered, irrevocably cut loose from all possible connection. But such ties are not to be snapped so easily. They found me, you see, and they will find me again." "Never!" exclaimed her husband. "They are as dead to you as if the grave had swallowed them. I have taken care of that." "But the shame! You have not taken care of that. That exists and must, and while it does I remain where I can meet it alone. I love you. God's Son is not dearer to my eyes, but I will never cross your threshold as your wife till the opprobrium can be cut loose from my skirts, and the shadow uplifted from my brow. A queen with high thoughts in her eyes and brave hopes in her heart were not too good to enter that door with you. Shall a girl who has lived 3 weeks in an atmosphere of such crime and despair that these rooms have often seemed to me the gateway to hell, carry there, even in secrecy, the effects of that atmosphere? I will cherish your goodness in my heart, but do not ask me to bury that heart in any more exalted spot than some humble country home, where my life may be spent in good deeds, and my love in prayers for the man I hold dear, and because I hold dear, leave to his own high path among the straight and unshadowed courses of the world." And with a gesture that inexorably shut him off while it expressed the most touching appeal, she glided by him and took her way to the room where her father and brother awaited her presence. Chapter 18.